white and shimmery, kind of very far above it, looking down, and it almost looked like pointed kind of spheres. They're all different shapes and sizes, but they're tall, really tall. They're kind of just among the greenery and the water. There's a lot of water.
What else do you see from above?
A lot of just really dense greenery around this island as well. And beautiful water. I don't see anything else like this is in a place by itself.
And tell me about yourself. You're up above.
Yeah, I'm just looking down on it. I don't see myself as a figure. It's like I'm almost like looking into a globe. See something from really high above.
Can you go down to the ground?
Yeah.
You notice when you get down to the ground.
I'm standing at the entrance. There's no one here. I don't see anybody else. There's a lot of green. It's very natural, almost like structures made out of the greenery, like the vines are part of the architecture almost. It's very quiet.
Do you see anyone there?
Seems deserted. It's been preserved, but doesn't feel like anyone's here.
Tell me more about this place.
It seems like there's almost some small, winding, very narrow paths. I guess it's like a street, kind of wind around. And it's just the greenery and the crystals, and they're like big towers that are, if I look up, they're really tall.
What do the towers look like?
All the white, almost white, but translucent crystals that are pointed at the top. And then kind of come down into a square shape. Some are kind of rounded or almost like a hexagon.
Mm-hmm. This place looks abandoned to you.
Yeah, I don't see any living things other than the greenery.
Get a sense as to why it's abandoned or what this place was used for? Do you have any feelings about that?
Feels like a special place. No one lives there. I think it holds some kind of energy, protected. That's why it's surrounded by all this greenery, almost like it blends in. But if you're looking at it from above and looking down, you can see how tall the crystal towers are, but you can't see it from anywhere else.
And when you go, can you move from above to below? Can you go back up and look at it? Can you see where this place is?
The water around it is sparkling.
Oh.
Very pretty. It's very clean. Definitely not earth.
Oh. Tell me more about the water.
It glistens, kind of like the crystals. It's very pretty, like turquoise and shiny, and it looks very warm. Looks like it's a warm place. And there's not completely enclosed the island. There's a lot of really dense, almost like jungle around it, but then it looks like the water, there's almost like a waterway that comes in that is open to like a larger body of water, I guess an ocean.
Okay. Is there anything else you notice about this place?
So quiet. There's no nothing flying around. There's nothing else here.
And you said that it seemed to be protecting some type of energy. Do you feel the energy at all?
It feels like it's some kind of powerful structure that either harnesses energy for the area. I don't know, the crystals are doing something. I don't know.
And tell me about yourself as the observer. If you feel into yourself, you get a sense if you have any type of body there, or how do you feel as the observer?
I feel really small. I feel like I think I'm kind of like a little green being. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I live in the water.
Uh-huh. Tell me about yourself. How would you describe yourself there?
I have almost like webbed hands and feet. And I don't think you're supposed to go onto the island.
Why?
I think it's just a sacred place where the crystals are, and we're not supposed to go and touch them or anything.
Do you get a sense if you would get in any trouble if you did?
Mm, maybe. I think it's known that you just don't don't go there. It's too special, maybe, to keep it protected so people don't, or other things don't go there. It's just a understanding.
You get a sense as to what this place was?
I think it had something to do with Lemuria.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a city, it's just almost like an outpost of some kind of other crystalline structures. I think there's other ones like this too. This isn't the only one. know where I live. I mean, I definitely live in the water.
See if you can go to where it is that you live. See if you can leave that scene and let's go to where it is that you live and be there now. You notice anything?
I'm under the water and there's big, like really giant shells that I guess are almost like structures made out of shells.
Uh-huh.
Feels kind of dark. Doesn't look as light as the water looked from the surface looking down. It's very clear, very blue, and this feels darker.
Tell me more about it.
There's a lot of buzzing around. There's a lot of kind of creatures. It feels like all different. I can see like a mer person coming and going, one with like a tail.
You see what they look like?
Like a silvery kind of tail, some kind of human-like features. Seems like it's a mix of all different types of beings. I'm trying to see if there's others who look like me. I'm pretty small.
And you said you were kind of greenish.
Mm-hmm.
How else would you describe yourself? What does your face look like? Do you get a sense?
Round, and I have kind of like fins almost on the side, and pretty big eyes, a big nose. I almost swim like like the webbed hands and arms, like with the feet kind of work together to help me swim. I'm definitely am very small compared to everything else that's around me.
Oh, and do you get a sense how you spend your time there?
I think everyone has jobs or things they're supposed to do. I don't know what I do. I think whatever I do, I don't think I like it.
Oh, tell me about that.
I have like a laboring kind of job where I have to like carry things or transport things, and it's very monotonous. It's the same thing all the time, and I don't like it. It's very boring.
Tell me what it's like. Do you notice any other people like you, or who makes you do this job?
Yeah, there's other people. Almost like a almost like a mine. A dark way the water's dark. It's different. I don't know if it's a cavern or a different part. Maybe it's really deep in the ocean. It's like we're mining something and it's small and black. And we're having to kind of, there's a lot of us now. I see a lot. And there's bigger creatures who are in charge, and they don't seem really cruel, but you know that they're in charge and they're kind of watching us to make sure we're doing our jobs.
Oh, I see. What do the other jobs look like?
Kind of taking whatever the black, kind of like black balls, they're in buckets, and then we're dumping them into like a bigger container. And then those are getting moved. Like there's a track, almost like what an underground mine would look like with coal.
Okay.
So it's kind of like that, and someone kind of pushes the cart down a track and it goes somewhere.
The stuff that you're mining, you said it looks like black ball.
Mm-hmm. Black balls.
Tell me about it. This stuff.
Very heavy. And I feel like it's meant to, I don't know if it has something to do with power. I know it's important.
Do you know how they use it?
Looks like it gets dumped into a big pit, almost like an empty volcano, but it's underground, and there's a lot of it. I feel like it has something to do with, I don't know if it's, I don't know where it's coming from. I just have to carry, like, kind of like swim almost with buckets,
Oh.
carrying it.
And you don't like doing this job?
No. They always have to do the same thing every day.
And do you feel forced to do this?
Yeah, I think it's definitely, I don't have a choice, and I want to do something different, but there's not a choice. This is what I have to do.
Tell me about what the people are like who are in charge.
They don't really talk. They don't really talk to us. Nobody's talking. There's no sounds really. We just know that they're watching us and having us do our work. They're a lot bigger than us.
What do they look like?
A really big, round kind of torso, but it's their whole body with like small feet, kind of a big head, like no hair or anything. I don't know. They kind of light, like kind of like fleshy colored, but then have brown that's like covering their torso. But I don't think I don't know, it's almost like clothing, some kind of covering. I have something on too that's very basic, like
What are you wearing?
it almost looks like a burlap sack. That's the material's like a burlap or something. It's not burlap, but that's what it looks like, and it's very plain, and everyone has the same thing.
Okay. So you spend your days basically mining this And there's very large people that seem to be in charge of these like black balls.
Yeah. They're very round. Like they're, wherever they come out of, they're already very round. There's no rough edges. It's like they're perfect spheres.
And they take them and they put them in like a volcano area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just keep filling it and filling it, and it feels like it never fills up.
See? And so aside from doing this, do you do anything else during your day?
I think some of us, we get a short break, and some of us are able to kind of all sit near each other, but we don't talk. I guess we must be communicating telepathically because there's nothing spoken.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like other than that interaction, that's all the interaction we really have. Because we just all do our jobs separately.
Do you have a place where you live or no?
Yeah, it looks like it's a little, kind of like a little hut. And it looks like there's really nothing in there other than kind of just a place to go when the work is done and go rest for a little bit and then start all over.
What does your hut look like?
Just round, there's open windows, like cutouts, no actual windows. Like almost like a mushroom shape. It's just hollow. There's nothing really in there. There's no, I don't see any food or appliances or anything. It's literally just a room. And I think we just sleep on the floor, and there's a couple people who sleep in there. I don't even know if it's my house. It's a place that I go.
Oh, I see. It looks like there's other people that sleep there.
Yeah. I think it's a place we all just take turns coming and resting, and we sleep on the floor. And then I guess when we're done resting, we leave and go back to do the work.
Anything else that you notice about this place or about your work?
Very lonely. It's a lonely place. And going to the surface to see the crystals was exciting, and I was glad I didn't get caught, but it's not something I would do again because I don't want to get in trouble.
Right? I see. Okay, let's leave that scene and let's move ahead in time in that same lifetime where something important is happening and be there now. What do you notice now?
I'm looking down. I don't know if it's the same city. It looks similar, but there's a lot of movement and people there.
What do the people look like?
They have human features, but no, they're not humans.
How would you describe them?
Mm. They're very sharp features. They're dressed in like really fancy clothes, and that's just how they dress all the time. They're very tall and thin. Kind of just a lot of activity, just kind of moving around. It looks like a much bigger place, a much bigger city.
Tell me about it.
A lot of people, there's kind of these small pods that I think are almost like transport vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
It's very overwhelming. There's a lot going on. There's just a lot of people all over, and they don't notice me. I'm really small.
Oh.
They seem very big and tall.
What else is going on there? You look around.
A big park and some kind of children running around, and there's some kind of animals that are like domesticated, kind of like pets.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like this society, they think they're very important, and they're very, very privileged, and they don't really know all the work that is going on in the water that helps them be able to live this life.
Where are you looking at this place from?
Like in a bush,
Oh.
kind of hiding, looking out, and everyone's so concerned with themselves they don't notice me.
Is there anything else you notice about this place that looks interesting?
They don't, I think most people don't know about us and that we exist. They're kind of oblivious to only pay attention to their own lives.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like they're very caring. They're very concerned with themselves.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people don't even know about you, your type.
No.
Are there any smells that you notice there?
Something that smells a little sweet, but I don't know what it is because I've never smelled it before.
Okay. Where does it look like these people live? Like where do they have dwellings?
They mostly live in really big buildings that almost look like the crystals, but they're big, like apartments that people live in. It's a very tight, packed city.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, the pods kind of come off the ground. I don't see a lot of them.
Tell me about them.
They're small. Seems like they wouldn't fit more than one person.
It looks like only one person can go in.
Let's see. Well, it looks like two, just two can fit. There's not room for more than that, and they kind of hover above the ground, and there's nothing really in them, so I guess they're just controlled with the mind, because there's nothing in them to steer or do anything else.
What do they look like, these pods?
They're oblong and almost like a teardrop. They they open up the top, almost like a shell, kind of like a clam shell, if they're stretched out longer. And just two of the big people can fit in there, and then the top closes, and everything is iridescent colors, like pale pink and blues, and everything's very like sparkly and shiny.
Oh,
The pods kind of just look like them. Everyone kind of looks the same, like the colors are all muted.
oh, amazing. Anything else that you notice?
Looks like there is a kind of another, almost looks like a big dwelling that's kind of separate from the rest of the area, where everything is on top of each other. Then there's an area where it's almost like a little bluff that has a standalone building on it.
What does that look like?
Almost looks like a castle.
Tell me about it.
Pretty tall. It looks different than everything else. Looks uniform, and this definitely looks different. It's big. Has some fires coming out of. There's three or four kind of almost like towers. And there's these big spires sticking up, so it makes it look even bigger from afar.
Wow. Tell me more.
Someone important lives there, but I don't know who it is. I see the pods going there.
The pods go there?
Hmm. They're bringing people there. The people are. They all seem very fancy, but maybe it's for something special, because they were all pretty dressed up, and they're all getting in these pods, and they all follow the same path to go down to this castle structure.
Oh, I see. So it looks like someone important lives there.
Yeah.
What do you do next after you've seen all these things? What do you do next?
Thinking it would be really hard to stay here because I'm so different, but I don't really want to have to go back to where I came from, because it's like everything's gray and dark and gloomy.
What do you decide to do?
I go look in the castle, but I don't stay. I just look in one of the windows to try to see what's going on, but I don't really see much, and so I go back into the water.
What do you do when you get back in the water?
Swim down. I swim down pretty deep, back down to where all my people are.
Then what?
I'm trying to share with my friends what I saw, and all of them are telling me to stop so that we don't all get in trouble. We're not supposed to be up
Oh,
by the surface.
tell me more.
Yeah, they don't want to hear about it. It's like they don't want to know what they're missing because they don't feel like anything will change. So we're all going to be here forever. Sad. They don't want to. They don't want to know what else they're missing.
Right. What do you do?
Now I feel more lonely because no one really wants to hear about it, and everyone just seems content to keep doing their job until the end of whatever the end is.
Right.
It makes me feel more lonely, and also wondering how I can be up there, but I know I can't because I'm so different.
Oh, I see. But you wonder if maybe you should go up there?
I want to go back. It's nicer there, but I don't want to be alone, and I know I won't be accepted.
I see. What happens next?
There's some kind of accident, and I'm not sure. It might be on purpose, but I can see I'm in the big pit where all the big black balls go, and I'm being crushed by them. Some have fallen on me.
What happens?
I die.
Just allow your soul to leave that body behind. And you see the body as your soul leaves the body.
Yeah, it's buried under all the balls.
Now that you can see everything from a different perspective, and you can even see that life from a different perspective, do you get a sense what the purpose or lesson was of that life?
It's okay to want to be something different and to change your reality, and just because others around you want to keep doing the same thing, it doesn't mean you have to.
Was there anything you wish you could have done differently?
I knew I wouldn't have been able to stay in the city, but I wish I would have found a place I could have gone, somewhere else that I could have been, and not kept just under the water doing my job that didn't feel like anyone appreciated it or even notice. We were just there. No one ever thanked us or even knew all the work we were doing, so we were never appreciated.
Oh, I see. Just leave that scene. Where does your soul go to next?
On a ship.
Tell me about it.
Big ship. Kind of just floating above it right now.
How would you describe it?
Really long and pointy. And all the front is clear, like glass, so you can see in it. Looks like there's a lot of lights and kind of looks like the front of the ship, or maybe the people who control it go.
You said you see it from above?
Kind of just a big ball of light bouncing around.
And what about you? What are you doing as you see this ship?
Turns into a much bigger ship. What I was seeing was just the very front part. I don't even know if it's the front. Opens up into a much bigger ship.
And what do you look like there? Do you have a body or no body?
I think I'm in a body. See some people in almost like uniform, kind of like gray suits.
Tell me about it.
I'm guessing I look down. I'm in this suit. It covers me from the neck down. It goes all the way. It encompasses my feet. I don't have separate shoes. It's like it's all part of the suit.
Do you have any symbols on your suit at all?
Something that it almost looks like the Star Trek.
What does it look like?
Like it's almost like a V, but it has like a curve instead of being. It points down, but then it has a rounded spot. It comes up pointy and rounded.
Do you know what it means, this symbol?
It's supposed to represent a star system.
Tell me more.
Everyone everyone has something on their suits from where they came from. I guess we all came from, a lot of people came from different places.
You get a sense where you came from?
I have like shimmery blue skin, light blue, kind of really stark hair, like would almost be white, but it's kind of like a really washed out blonde. Pretty tall. Everyone kind of looks like me, but they're male and female.
Do you have a role there or a job that you're doing?
I think this is my ship.
Tell me about that.
This is the ship that I command.
Tell me more.
We're working to help monitor Earth. That's part of our job and my team's job.
Why do you monitor Earth?
There's a lot of us that monitor Earth that help make sure that Earth is not going to be destroyed.
What sort of things do you do to monitor it?
We're able to see very clearly, almost like we're standing there, what's going on in certain areas of the world, almost like watching TV. Like, I don't know if we can just zoom in and almost like being a fly on the wall and seeing and hearing conversations that are happening and decisions that are being made. And we're able to see all this information all at one time.
Do you ever intervene?
There's a lot of people that are already on the earth that are helping, that are subtly there to help shift energies and help them make better choices. But a lot of times it's not enough.
What do you mean?
Sometimes it's too subtle. We're not in a position of true authority to be able to make the decisions. We're kind of standing back and observing and being a presence where we try to subtly influence with our energy, but many times there's too much darkness.
How do you influence?
Trying to really subtly share different perspectives, but you have to be careful because sometimes they start to question your loyalty. So when we're watching this happen from the ship, we have to make sure that the people that we've sent down there are safe.
What do you mean?
We just want to make sure that other entities that are darker, that are influencing people, they might realize that we're there to bring more light, and it could cause a problem. So we try to make sure we're watching our people and keeping them safe.
How do you do that?
By watching them from the ship, we're able to watch them. It's almost like watching a movie in real time, where we can, just at any point where there's someone is, we can zoom in and see what's going on.
Have you ever helped any of your people?
Yes, I think there's been many times that I've had to go and help get people out of situations or bring them back.
What did you
The
do?
ship. See us going down in a really small ship and going and just taking the person back and bringing them back to the ship, because it just was too dangerous and we didn't want to lose anyone.
Have you ever lost any of them?
I think so, yeah.
How did that happen?
I think some of those that are darker and here with an agenda, they found out and they took them and they disappeared.
Where did they go?
They take them to the places and just kill them and leave them.
Oh, I see.
So I'm trying to not have that happen because I'm in charge of the group.
Did the people on the ground know who they are?
The ones that come from our ship,
They do?
they do. They know they're different. Seems like some know more than others. Some are very aware and others are not.
Why is that?
They know they're different. They know they have a purpose, and they know not to interfere too much. Some of it's for the safety.
What are they doing exactly?
Most of the time they're kind of doing what seems like menial jobs around people who have a lot more power, and they're able, just by being there, their energy helps influence and try to help the light be more present when there's a lot of darkness around these people who have a lot of power.
Oh, interesting. Anything else that you notice that looks interesting about this or important?
No, there's a lot. There's a lot here, and the hope is for them to be more well known soon, so that humans understand how much help they have. They're not doing things alone, that there's a lot of support, and yeah, they're not so it can be appreciated, but just knowing that things could turn dark without the help of other galactics in the the universe who are helping Earth.
But with all the help, does it look like it would be possible for the things to turn dark?
No, there's too much light. There's just a lot of pockets of dark that need to see the light, and that's what we're trying to do, is help in a subtle way for the light to come forward.
Anything else that's important about this?
No, I don't think so.
Taking a deep breath. Please speak with Heather's higher self now, please. Do I have permission to speak with Heather's higher self?
Yes.
Respect the power of the higher self, because I know you take care of her body and you do a very good job of that. And I also know you have the records of everything that has ever happened to her. So I respect the power of the higher self, and I always ask for permission. Speak to it and ask questions. Do I have permission to ask questions?
Yes.
I know you could have shown her many different things for her to see today, but why did you first show her that lifetime as that aquatic being, the very small being? What did you want her to understand?
A lot of this life where she's not feeling appreciated or seen or valued, that was like that life as well.
What do you want her to understand about this?
That was only one lifetime and hundreds of lifetimes, and holding on to those feelings is not helpful.
How is she holding on to those feelings? What is she doing?
She brought with her part of this feeling of never being appreciated and wanting to contribute and be a part of something and not being able to, and has carried that through.
Was there anything she was supposed to learn from this, or a purpose in that?
Trust yourself, that you know what's right for yourself, even when other people are doing different things or telling you something different, that when you know or you have a feeling, to trust that and keep following that.
Does she need, since this is from a different life, does she need to feel different and undervalued anymore?
No.
Has she learned?
Old.
Okay. Has she learned all she needed to learn from that?
Yes.
You release it for her then?
Yes.
Why did you show her that she had that job of like mining those big black balls? Like, what was that all about?
There's so much work that goes into, so much that's not seen. And part of what at least humanity's learning now is there's so much work that's unseen, yet many people benefit from it, and trying to appreciate the whole, because we're all one, and appreciating that even if you can't see something, knowing there's a lot going on beneath the surface, and if you're able to approach life or your day to day with that appreciation that there's more, there's always more going on. There's a lot going on that's for the good, but you just can't see it. And if you can connect to that and understand that, then you'll see life differently.
I love that. Wonderful. Why did you show her memory of being a commander on a ship? Why did you show her that?
That's been a very important role, and it's still ongoing.
Tell me about that. What do you want her to know about this?
There's a lot going on that she's involved with her energy, just as she saw the people that were sent here and how their energy can influence others just by being there. It's the same thing for her being here in this body. She chose to come here because her energy is also influencing others just by being around. So she got to see what that was like first, with an understanding that she's the same.
Wow. What does she need to understand about herself now that she got this message?
Everything that's occurring now has occurred and will occur again. And the life right now that she's living is a gift. It's a timeline that allows a lot of hard work and sacrifice to come to give her peace and prosperity. But also her energy is needed in specific places, and she's meant to help others connect so that their energies come together in specific places as well.
What is her purpose then in this life?
Her words have a vibration that are able to reach people on a deeper level than they really know, and have they have a resonance. They create a resonance that allows others to awaken themselves or understand there's more. And as she keeps doing work, she'll keep reaching more and more people, and that's how the light spreads.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. What about her book?
The book is the beginning.
She had questions about it. How do you want her to get it published?
She will work with someone We keep sending her a company to work with. You should work with them.
How will she know it's the right company? Is there a sign or anything you can tell her?
Red. There will be red.
There will be red.
She will know when she sees red.
Okay. So you want her to work with someone then? Do you want her to call in an editor then? How can she call in an editor for her book?
When she gets the information, it will come right to her and she'll know. It will align quickly. It will feel right. The timing will align quickly and it will flow. It won't be a difficult process.
When will this happen?
Soon. July is the time frame.
She kept seeing July, so what does July mean to her?
A lot of things will start moving into place in July. So the book is the key. That is the first part.
What will happen after she publishes it?
There will be an opportunity to start traveling, to do some speaking and meeting others. But it's really the opportunity to open up and to be authentic and to share her beliefs and not feel like she has to hide them or live two separate lives. They all come together.
Okay. Have there been any pending karma?
No. That wheel is come and gone. There's been a lot of lives, but there's nothing left. She has children here. But as she does her own work and continues to clear lines, there won't be anything that binds her here. And she always has a choice if she wants to come back.
Oh, okay. Since you showed her that she's here and she's also a commander on a ship, when did this happen? Is she a walk-in?
Yes. Did come in. Came into a body. She chose to come into a body. Didn't want to go through a birth process.
Why?
Already had a lot of lives.
Where did the other soul go?
Just went back up.
What is the other soul doing now?
The other soul's waiting. It's learning.
So is she a completely different soul or the same?
a different soul.
What was the date that this happened to her?
It was on her 4th birthday. November 10th, 1980.
Did something happen?
It was time. It was time to go, and it weekends in the child, so it was easier to come in at that age.
Tell me more.
The commander knew that work had to be done here, and she wanted to come herself, and so she took the opportunity to step in and had permission to do so, and nothing traumatic happened to the other soul. It was part of the contract.
Anything else about that you want to say?
She chose the relationship. She chose the body because of the relationship with her sister,
Tell
to
me
have
about
someone close.
I was going to ask that question. How does her being a walk-in affect the relationship with her sister?
They are a bit different. They still have the history, shared history together, and their souls knew one another, so it was an easy match.
What do you mean their souls knew one another?
There's parts that have been together before, fractals that have been around each other, so they've had times where they were together. This felt like an easeful coming home. Her sister knew something was different. Could sense it, but she always accepted her.
Tell me more.
Her sister just had a bond that wasn't going to be broken, and understood that the new soul coming in would still want to have that bond with her, so she was very accepting of it.
Oh, wow. Amazing. You said earlier that Heather was meant to speak and that her words would greatly affect people. Is she meant to speak on large stages?
She will find places that resonate well with her energy to speak. Some will be more formal than others, but it will be her choice. She won't have to. She won't have to speak where she doesn't feel the message will resonate.
What should she speak about?
Humans' purposes, why they're here. They're not just here to work, as she experienced in that life. It's not fulfilling just working to work and no end in sight. That's not the purpose of being here. And helping people to realize and awaken that there's more to their life.
Wow. Is she meant to work with Emily directly for a rose?
No. Their energy was a match. Emily was very important in helping her to awaken. But there's been many things along the way that are a mismatch energetically, and Heather needs to know that she can stand on her own.
Oh, do you want her to stand on her own?
Yes.
How do you want her to go about doing that?
Opportunities will start to present themselves once the book is out. She will be able to decide which path she wants to pursue and what feels right, but the biggest key is her stepping into that and feeling it and knowing and not questioning, because she's been very hesitant with Emily to commit to anything, and that's because she knows it's energetically not a match.
Oh, I see, okay. So you said the book is first. Does she start becoming spiritual now?
Yes, that is something that she should start working on. And she's already voiced she wants to start a podcast and develop a website when her daughter's home so she can help with that. And that's an easeful way to do that, but others will come her way that will be helping so that she's able to help share messages of other healers and connect people to resources that they need for their own growth and their own healing.
Amazing. So do you want her to job search stuff now?
The job search, the book, is just an opening, the opening of a door that will lead her to other people who will be helpful. It feels like right now she's following two paths, but they're really one. They're all intertwined, and she's doing the work she's meant to be doing now.
Do you have any advice for her path?
Moving forward, but also it's okay to take a break and not feel like you have to always be learning. It can be a lot, and part of life here in this life, in this time right now, is to enjoy that life and to find moments of quiet and peace and not feel like you have to shove everything into a small box, because there is time. There's always time.
Is she able to heal with her breath and hands?
Yeah, she's done this. She knows.
Could you tell me what she knows?
She thinks she needs to learn how to do energy healing with her hands, but there has to be a special way. But the way that everyone does things are different. Everyone finds their own way, and it doesn't have to be how others tell you to do it.
Do you have any advice for her? So when she does it her way, is it the right way for her?
Mm-hmm.
So she does know, she knows.
She needs to just follow what she feels called to do, because she's always being guided. She has a lot of angels that come and share information and light, and they're guiding her, and she tends to stop and question things, but if she just went with what was coming in, she knows what to do. It's a part of her.
It's awesome. Thank you for that. Is there a way to make her vision better by sun gazing or doing something else?
Sun gazing is helpful, but it has to be done in the morning, preferably outside and not inside. And she does need to not have her glasses or contacts in, and she can start receiving the light codes that she knows are coming in, but they are blocked many times.
Why are they blocked?
Just as she takes her glasses off when she's doing energy work in the morning, not having something interfere in your physical space is helpful.
Okay. Is there anything else about that you want to tell her?
Listen to Sophie when she wants to go out and be out in nature and connect. Sometimes it feels inconvenient, but she's craving the nature and connecting to the earth, and it's something she needs as a really sensitive being. And so giving her that opportunity, even if it feels like it's going to take time away from something else, it will be time that's invested in her, because she will benefit greatly from it.
Hey, amazing. What should Heather do to improve her eyesight, her vision?
The sun can help. We can help.
You can help. Can you heal her vision?
Yes, we can heal her vision.
Do a body scan on her as you're working on her vision. Scan her body and tell me how her body looks.
a lot of physical scars, scar tissue from old wounds, things that were trapped, stuck energy.
Does she need this for any reason?
Nope. No, it can be released. Serves no purpose.
Alright, can you release and heal this for her? As you're scanning her body, should she remove her implants? Are they harming her health in any way?
We won't allow them to harm her. Like the glasses, anytime there's anything in your body, it's going to, or on your body, it's going to block certain things. The energy flow gets stagnant up near the upper part of her chest. But she has time. She doesn't need to worry about them right now.
Okay.
It will help her to have more flow once they do come out.
Okay, but it's not like a big rush.
No, she can do it on her time.
What is the very root cause of her thyroid nodules? The very root cause.
Her voice. Not using her voice.
You want to tell her about this?
Her voice matters, and it's more important than she can even realize, and speaking her truth, but speaking it from a place of love and kindness and not defensiveness or trying to prove something will ultimately lead to her freedom, feeling like she isn't trapped and not able to share what she wants to share or say what she wants to say.
How can she stop not saying what she wants to say? What exactly does she need to do for her thyroid to get better?
She needs to keep being very intentional with her words, which she's been doing. There's still times that she gets upset and then realizes quickly that maybe she didn't speak in a kind way or said something she didn't mean to say. And it's better just in that moment to try and fix it so it's not sitting, it's not stuck. All the stuck words, things she's not saying that are sitting there and causing issues. So if she would just use her voice and say what she's thinking, but leading from her heart, it will result in that energy moving through.
Can you heal her thyroid now completely, that she got the messages?
Yes,
What are
it
you
can be
doing
healed.
to do that?
It can be healed. We can work on it.
What are you doing to work on it?
You're just energetically, almost like an eraser. Just almost rub them out erase them so they're no longer there, they don't serve her. But if she doesn't use her voice and speak, they can come back.
I see. Okay. All right. Okay. What is the very root cause of her stomach issues?
That is also a lot of stuck energy.
Where does it come from?
Mainly from childhood.
What do you want to tell her about this?
All of this was planned. It was part of the lessons. And it no longer needs to be something that impedes her physical body. She's made a lot of changes, and they've been good changes, and now she needs to know that at any time she can release that energy.
Can she release that energy now that she got those messages?
Yes, she can.
What are you doing to do that?
You can just send light energy into her stomach, into her area, into that entire area.
Is she feeling or sensing anything as you do that?
Feels like a little tingling. Energy will just go in there and clean things up and get it moving so it leaves. But part of that is also not succumbing to the pressure, the stress that's created with putting very stringent time frames on things. A lot of it, she knows how stress will affect her physical body and still keeps making the same decisions, even though she has the knowledge.
What do you want to tell her about this?
Stress isn't real. It's something that the ego's created. And if you remind yourself of that, help let it go. You won't have the physical symptoms anymore. It will lead to a much more easeful, peaceful life.
Why does the ego create stress?
It wants to feel needed.
Now that she knows that, what can she do?
Just like with her words, when she finds herself getting upset or feeling overwhelmed, all she needs to do is breathe. Breath is very powerful to release.
Why does she have low blood pressure?
Scanning. Seems just the energy gets blocked. Many times in a state of a lower vibration, it seems to get stagnant and stuck in effect. the flow, the energy flow, the chi, the life force.
Does she need this anymore?
What was that?
Does she need the low blood pressure anymore?
When she has the low blood pressure, it's an opportunity for others to help care for her.
Oh, tell me about that.
As she was speaking earlier, it's very difficult to feel cared for. And because the low blood pressure doesn't knock her out like an illness would for long periods of time, a shortened period of time, it allows her to both rest but also have others care for her, which helps her to feel seen and heard.
Well, she said that she's never really cared for. Why is that?
Part of it is her soul, the commander aspect comes in and is used to being in charge and caring for everyone.
I see. Now that she understands that, what does she need to do?
Part of the lesson here is to learn that while you can care for others, you can also allow them to care in return, and the benefit is on both sides. People want to care for one another. It's a way to show love. So by actually allowing that, then it will allow others to want to care more for her. It is magnetizing. The more she gets care from others, others will want to continue to give it to her if she doesn't shut it out.
Oh, that's good to know. Anything else about that you want to tell her?
Coming in, she carries a lot of feelings of responsibility. It's part of what her soul came here for, but since being here has understood that understanding the human condition, all of the emotions, the love that you can experience in different ways is really the purpose. And everything else will fall into place as long as she is guided by love.
Beautiful. What is the very root cause of her heart issue?
There was some kind of minor bug that affected it at some point in her earlier life.
Purpose for this?
No, it seems as if it was something that occurred, but there is no real purpose.
Can you release it then for her?
Yes.
What is the very root cause of her weight gain, or the inability for her to really lose weight the way she wants to.
She's not letting go. She needs to let go of what was as she enters this new phase of life. And the more she can let go of what was and feeling like she needs to keep holding on to the past, the lighter she will feel, the lighter her physical body will become.
How can she let go of the past, of what she was in the past? How does she go about doing this?
Very simple, just accept that there's different phases of life as humans. You're constantly changing and evolving, and as you enter a new phase, if you continue to carry everything from the previous, it weighs you down. But those who are able to let go, just by simply acknowledging that they are ready to embrace a new chapter, can be as simple as that, and that will result in her being able to lose weight, but also accept herself and love herself. She's very hard on herself.
Do you have any other advice for that?
She knows the foods that she should be avoiding, and we've been making it more difficult to consume things that are toxic over the years by having reactions to them. That's the easiest way to do that with her physical, but listening to what her body really needs and not what you would call cravings, which is really just an imprint of a memory of something that isn't usually healthy and it doesn't serve the body.
I see, okay. What about her adrenals? How are her adrenals?
They are worked. She works them hard with the stress that she takes into her body.
How can she stop doing that and hurting her adrenals?
She needs to keep listening to her body.
Can you heal her adrenals for her?
Yes.
Can you send healing through her whole body?
Yes.
What do you want to tell her about where she is as far as menopause? What do you want to tell her about this?
This again comes back to her listening and trusting herself. She knows. She can educate herself on certain aspects so that she knows what others might be experiencing. So much information that comes to her is because we want her to know what else is out there. So if it comes to her, she understands what others might be feeling or experiencing, but it doesn't mean that she has to take it on herself. It's not meant for her always to take on, and she needs to listen to what she knows to be right for her.
Well, do you want her to take hormones? Is she hormone deficient?
She does not need to take hormones. Some of her hormones are a bit challenged in the moment.
Why?
They're adjusting. Her body's still going through an adjustment period of moving into this next phase, so there's still some adjusting that's going on, and they will even out. But she doesn't need medication to fix it.
Okay. Will her libido come back, or is it gone for good, or what is going on with it?
The stress that she has around it is actually preventing it from coming back.
Oh.
The more energy she puts into the worry and the stress, the more it keeps it down.
What advice do you want to give her?
She needs to just let that go and not focus on it. It is just a change in the body.
So if she doesn't focus on it, will it come back?
When she learns that she can manage stress, not have it sit in her body, it affects everything. It affects her organs, it affects her stomach, adrenals, libido. All of the different hormones are affected, and taking time to reset every day, taking a break, even doing quick breath work is helpful to help release whatever might be building up so it doesn't stay in the body.
Okay. Why does her body feel weak?
Part of that is the shift. There are a lot of physical changes that happen as she steps through this portal. So part of it is giving herself some grace and taking it easy and doing things that actually make her feel strong. And it doesn't have to be heavy weights to do that.
What do you mean by she's stepping through a portal?
Stepping through the portal, that menopause is just a gateway to the next chapter of life.
What is the root cause of her hot flashes? What's actually happening to her body?
It is energy coming in and going out, moving in and moving out.
What does she need to understand about that?
This is temporary. It will shift. But she is becoming more sensitive to energies and understanding that the energy needs to be in flow so it doesn't get stuck and can be released and transmuted as much as possible is important.
Is there anything she needs to do to release and transmute it?
She just needs to focus on the energy and see it moving through her body, healing her body, serving her body, and then seeing it exit and move into Mother Earth. And it's very simple, it won't take long.
So you told her that for her libido to come back, it would benefit her to not focus on it anymore, to just accept, let it go. What about the dryness?
That is all physical change. That is all part of the same thing. The focus on it. There's a lot swept up in women's bodies now and the changes that they go through. And they're constantly being told they have to look outside of themselves to fix it, to have medication, when really they need to focus inward and see what it is their body is asking them for. And many times it's just rest. It's just doing breath work to rid the body of the stress, to help move the energy through. And it can be very simple.
Well, why do so many women go through this then?
It is part of a passage, almost a rite of passage. For some, they just haven't accepted where they need to be in life, where they're not necessarily doing what they need to do for themselves. And so it helps them to be aware and to usually make some changes in their life, whether that's diet, exercise, stress reduction. It's more like a wake-up call so they can begin the next chapter, which is when most women are stepping into their power. They can begin to do that work without the baggage of their former selves or their younger selves and what they've carried with them.
Amazing. Thank you for that. What are her next steps for healing?
Listening to her body, also slowing down a bit. As much as there is to learn, there is time. Having less stress, less things to have to put her time and energy into, and be able to set aside time to care for herself. The more she cares for herself, the more others will care for her as well.
That's wonderful to know, okay? Should she do fasts?
The fasting is helpful, but only if she's already doing it. There's no need to make a radical change or declaration to do something very specific. She's giving her body time to process and rest. It is good to stop eating earlier on in the evening so as not to go to sleep and be stagnant and be overfilled. And she's been making changes in terms of volume of foods that are coming in because she doesn't need as much. And that happens with a lot of people as they get older. They don't need as much. The society tells them they need to have certain things. And so they keep consuming them more out of societal pressure than actual need.
Oh, interesting. What about all the aches and pains in her knees? What is the root cause of that?
That is all just old energy. All of those were opportunities for her to be cared for as well, to rely on others, to have others help her.
Okay, does she need them anymore now that she got those messages?
No, she doesn't.
Can you release them and heal them for her?
Yes.
How does the rest of her body look?
Good. There's something on her right side.
What's on her right side?
It seems an organ just seems to be inflamed.
No. Why?
Something in the diet.
Is she eating something she's not supposed to eat?
Many times it's hard to accept as your body changes and ages that there are foods or things that you used to eat and like to eat that no longer serve the body, and so it makes it more difficult to consume it. And one of these being a lot of nuts.
Well, now that she got that message, does she need the inflammation?
We can work on the inflammation, and she will just need to make sure she's managing the nuts because that can add to this inflammation if she continues to consume a lot of them.
Okay. All right. Well, she got the message. Can you release and heal this for her now?
Yes.
You. Can you tell me how many lives that she's had with Bill?
Many lives.
Are there any that are important for her to know?
They are part of a soul family, so they've played many roles to each other in the course of many lives that they've had. And this life is really, his role is really meant to be a support to her.
Is he her twin flame?
That's not a word we like to use a lot. It has a lot of negative connotations.
No.
Some have them, some resonate with that term.
What do you like to use?
Soul family.
No. Okay. How can Heather help him awaken?
He is a bit stuck with some of the dark energy that, like lots of the humans right now, are consumed by the media, all of the messaging that comes in. He needs to really just be attending to him from a loving place and not a place of judgment.
What will happen if she does this?
First, it will free her from feeling that it is her responsibility to make him awaken. He needs to make that choice. It will also help her from the physical perspective because of the stress that she puts on herself trying to help, or many times when she is in judgment of his activities. And so releasing those judgments and just coming from a place of love and loving kindness will be ultimately what supports him. And as she has people or things come to her that she feels is important to share. She should continue to share. And even though it feels like many times he's not really listening or interested, he is saving it in the back pocket, as you would say, where he is gathering data. He is very data driven, and having the data points, even if it's not real data, it helps him to move closer to a place where he can be or find acceptance and understand that life is so much more than he's willing to see in this moment.
Oh, that's beautiful. Are there certain places that she needs to travel in the world? And if so, why?
Spain, Egypt, more for remembering and activation. She's had many lives there.
What is her mission when she... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Spain, there's grid work that needs the light.
Is there anything she has to do when she goes there?
So much is just presence, is the energy body being present and calling in, like a magnet, other light bodies that are drawn there. When one is present, that can call in the others.
Is there anything that she needs to do in Egypt?
There are activations that can be done when enough other light bodies are present.
Okay. Tell me about that.
If there's enough light bodies that are all in resonance with one another, they're able to activate a lot of the energy that exists that just can't be tapped into currently.
It's really good to know. What is her relationship with Kalina? What kind of
Lena's
advice?
the mirror for all she didn't get from her own father.
Tell me more.
She knows this. She's heard this. She just hasn't accepted. And if she can accept it and release what she thinks she was supposed to have as a child with a relationship with parents, she can let that go. She'd have a better relationship. She's putting it on Kalina.
What kind of advice do you want to give Heather to have a better relationship with Kalina then?
First, she needs to realize she's not her. And while Heather had certain things she had to do when she was growing up, that's not Kalina's path. And she can't try and have Kalina have the same experience as she had.
Mm.
And just the act of doing that, of letting go of what she thinks their relationship should be or how Kalina should be. Kalina has free will. She's a good person. They've done a good job raising her despite some things they may see as flaws. She is a good kid. If she can let go of the expectation of what their relationship should be and trying to get outside influence telling her what it should be, she can create what that relationship looks like at any time. And it will be more positive than where she is now.
Oh, okay, it's really helpful. What is Will there to teach Heather?
Will came here to teach a lot. One lesson she's already learned, others she's working on. He holds his sadness like she held her sadness. She just never had the anger like he has.
How can Heather help him?
Just by acknowledging the sadness she's held and releasing it will help him to realize he doesn't need to hold on to it because it's not his.
Oh, it isn't his sadness.
No, circumstances have set him up so he can experience it, to show her.
Oh, so you said if she releases the sadness, it will help him?
She releases the sadness, but also accepts that anger is an emotion, but it's just an emotion. It can come and go. And she doesn't need to fear it. It's not something that she outwardly expresses either. And so having an understanding that there should be no fear, that there's only love, and that's just the ego trying to protect, but the ego is not really giving the real picture. And by letting that go, she'll not only free herself, she will free Will as well. He is here to show her love. He came back to her in this lifetime for a reason.
What's the reason?
To help her release a lot of the sadness she's carried with her. And she's already done a lot of that work.
Can she release?
Yeah, she can.
Let me know when you're done doing that.
She is stubborn. She fights letting go of some of these emotions. They've been a part of her for a long time.
Can you release some of them so she can see what it's like?
Yes.
Let me know when you're done.
We're done.
Okay. Why does he get sad when he thinks about his past?
It is all just part of the same sadness.
Okay.
He doesn't understand where a lot of the sadness comes from.
Oh, he doesn't. Is there anything that would help him?
Part of the sadness is also Heather mourning that time of not having that anymore and what was. And it's all part of this portal of stepping through. And it's not to be seen as something that's being left behind. it's something you can carry with you, but you carry the good, you carry the positive, you carry the love. You don't need to carry sadness for what was, because it always is.
From where you are, can you send healing to him now? Can you send healing to Will?
Yes.
Can you release some of the sadness from him?
Yes, we can.
Let me know when you're done.
You're done.
Okay, thank you. Right. What about Sophie? What kind of advice do you want to give Heather on her relationship with Sophie?
She already knows Sophie's very special. She is a very light being. She's here to teach so much to everyone who comes in contact with her. She shows them a way to be that comes from the heart space. And there aren't many people that live in that space currently. So she's an example. But it also is very easy to get stuck in all that's around and to get pulled down into the lower vibrations from what she's used to. And so it's really important just to keep her vibration high. That's why she loves eating fruits all the time and vegetables. She knows this serves her body the best.
Oh, I see. Has Sophie ever been her child before?
They have had many lives together as well. They've had many symbiotic relationships.
From where you are, can you send healing to Sophie?
Yes. She's able to heal quickly. She can take in the energy quickly.
Okay. Let me know when you're done.
We are done. She is light.
Okay. What is Bill supposed to learn from his foot issues that he hasn't yet?
He needs to realize the power of his body and healing, and also that he is a sentient being who's here for much more than what he's currently doing. And so the healing, the foot injury is a reminder for healing, which will eventually lead to him doing more spiritual work.
Okay. Are there any classes that you want Heather to take?
He is able to take anything that will not cause more stress from a
Okay.
time commitment in this moment. So if there's something like the Reiki class she wants to take, that is a minimal commitment.
Okay.
But all it's really going to do is give her more confidence about information she already knows. It will not present much new information.
Why does she have a fear of spiders?
There are spider-like beings that she has encountered that are very dark energy. in other realms. And so they are a reminder here.
Does she need to be afraid of spiders here in this lifetime?
No.
Can you release this fear for her?
Yes.
Why does both her sister and Sophie have separation or anxiety? What's going on?
Sophie in her lifetimes has been separated. And they've traveled together in many lives. And Sophie has held on to some of those losses as one has transitioned and the other has not.
Is there anything that would help Sophie understand?
We can release that.
Okay, can you release this for her now?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you have any final messages or anything you want to say to Heather that I did not ask that I could have asked?
He's been given a lot of information in the past couple of months. And because of how society is structured here, she feels that it's information that while it's good to know, she only half believes it. And we're sending her so many signs and messages. And she needs to embrace it and bring it in to her knowing all of it's coming for a reason.
Is there any information in particular that's important for her to accept?
But she is here to do a lot of activating. And while she's been doing a lot of that over the last 14 years in her current role, it's not enough. It's not fast enough. And that's not meant to create pressure. It's more that more people need the message, which is why the book is the starting point and will open up other avenues for her to connect and be able to share messages more from a world perspective and not just in a very small, contained area.
Do you have any final messages?
She wonders a lot about the information that comes in and tries to figure out where it's coming from or who it's coming from, and it can be very easy to get stuck on that information. And we want her to know it doesn't matter. The information's coming in from her team, and she needs to see it as a team and not as individuals, because we all work as a collective and we are all one. And the messages come in through different guides, different high vibrational beings, angels, humans on earth give messages. It's all around, and it doesn't matter where it's coming from. They're just meant to be received. And so while others might really focus on where these messages come from, what the names are, if they're a spirit guide, if they're an angel, an ancestor, they're all present and they're all part of the one. And for some, they need that comfort of knowing that they have a close relationship with them, but it is not necessary.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for all. Wonderful. Now I'd like to ask the higher self to recede to the place where it belongs